Hi, the SI meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday, April 9th. A very active weather pattern continues today across much of the nation. Very warm conditions here in the Mid-Atlantic region. We should reach 80 degrees in many spots, including D.C., Philly, and probably even up to New York City this afternoon, 80 degrees or higher. That very warm weather continues tomorrow with, again, many Mid-Atlantic locations reaching 80 degrees. A strong cold front comes through by Thursday night and Friday, brings much cooler weather back into the Mid-Atlantic region by the end of the week, and that cooler weather will continue this weekend as well. Meanwhile, today, a major snowstorm is raging from Colorado Rockies all the way up into the northern plains. On the warm southeastern flank of that western storm will be a severe weather threat today from Texas all the way up to Iowa, with the possibility of some hail and tornadoes and severe thunderstorms, again on the warm side of that major springtime snowstorm. Let's take a look at the 24-hour temperature change. This is from the Penn State EWOL site. Kind of gives us a feeling as to what's going on across the nation. Much colder conditions this morning compared to yesterday morning. Again, this is 24-hour temperature change between the current time and 24 hours ago. Some 25 degrees colder in portions of Colorado as cold air just plunged overnight into the Rocky Mountain region from south central Canada. Meanwhile, here in the east, lots of reds and oranges showing up as much warmer conditions this morning compared to yesterday morning. Southwesterly flow of air here into the east will boost temperatures to 80 degrees or higher this afternoon, while they're having a major snowstorm from Colorado all the way across western Nebraska into South Dakota later on today and into the early part of tonight. Here's the latest surface map, and the major frontal system right here separates some brutally cold air up in the northern plains that's feeding into this major snowstorm. Again, maybe 6 to 12 inches from Colorado across much of Wyoming, western Nebraska, into South Dakota. Easily a foot of snow can fall there. That snow extends into Minnesota and Wisconsin by tomorrow and into Thursday. Meanwhile, very warm air is pumping up into the I-95 corridor today. 80 degrees to 85 degrees in D.C. this afternoon. In the low 80s in Philadelphia, probably reaching 80 degrees in New York City this afternoon as well. The very warm weather continues on Wednesday, and then things start to change a little bit on Thursday, and especially by Friday as a strong cold front pulls out of the center part of the country towards the East Coast. Meanwhile, today on the southeastern flank of this western storm, which is centered right over here, will be a severe weather threat, basically from Iowa down into north central Texas. This region right here is in the severe weather zone today. Possibilities for tornadoes, hail, and severe thunderstorms. Cities like Dallas all the way up to Kansas City, maybe even St. Louis later on today will be in that severe weather zone. So a very active weather pattern continues for much of the nation. Just a quick look at the GOES visible loop here in the Mid-Atlantic region. Basically sunny skies here, and that'll help to boost temperatures up to, again, 80 degrees or higher this afternoon. Philadelphia's record today is 84 degrees. We'll probably fall a couple of degrees short, but it's in the ballpark today. Speaking of ballpark, this kind of weather is home run weather moving into the Mid-Atlantic region. Maybe we'll see some more home runs out of the Phillies bats tonight as temperatures, again, will climb to 80 degrees or higher this afternoon. Well, let's kind of shift back our attention back to the north central states right now for a radar look here. This has precipitation type. This is from the Penn State EWOL site. Again, heavy snow now falling across Denver. Strong winds today will exceed 40 miles per hour or so, blowing and drifting there. Many roadways will be in dangerous conditions, and many flights will be delayed or canceled. All that heavy snow continues across western Nebraska and across South Dakota. And again, later on this week, that snow will extend into Minnesota and Wisconsin. Meanwhile, on the warmer side right now, there's some heavy rain and thunderstorms moving into Iowa. And again, from Iowa southward across western Missouri all the way down into Texas, there will be a severe weather threat, including the threat for possible tornadoes later on this afternoon into the evening. Well, let's use last night's Zero-Z GFS model run to look at forecast maps for the next 4 nights. This will be for tonight, Tuesday night, Then we'll look at Wednesday night, Thursday night, and Friday night. Kind of an interesting and tough forecast here in the Mid-Atlantic region on Thursday. There might be quite a difference in temperatures from D.C. to New York City, for example, where D.C. will be very warm. New York City might be quite cool because of an ocean flow of air that could develop on Thursday, and we'll get into that in a moment. This is for this evening. A little bit of rain possible in the Mid-Atlantic region this evening. A few showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm or two. Again, a very mild day today with a lot of sunshine, but clouds roll in tonight, and there can be a shower or two, especially farther to the north in the I-95 corridor. Places like New York City have a little better chance of a shower or thunderstorm this evening than does D.C., for example. Meanwhile, the snowstorm will continue to dump heavy snow out in the Rockies all the way into the northern plains throughout the day today into the early part of tonight. This Canadian high pressure is the center of some very, very cold air for this time of the year, any time of the year. Denver, Colorado, for example, should drop to 8, 9, 10 degrees by tomorrow morning with 6 to 12 inches of fresh snow on the ground here, thanks to this large, widespread, very cold Canadian air mass. Meanwhile, on the warm side, severe weather threat right up through this region right here from Texas across much of Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri into Iowa on the warm side of that powerful western storm. Now here's the forecast map for Wednesday evening. Now, one thing I want to point out here for the difficult forecast for temperatures here in the Mid-Atlantic region on Thursday, strong Canadian cold high pressure. Notice how it's kind of edging in here into New England, and that often signals a kind of a backdoor cold front driving down through New England, perhaps later tomorrow into tomorrow night, and it'll probably cause a wind shift at the surface out of the northeast all the way down into New York City region by Thursday. And the ocean this time of the year is still very chilly. In fact, it's kind of difficult to maintain a warm spell at this time of the year because of the very cold ocean temperatures here in the northeastern part of the country. And again, on Thursday, it's liable to be much cooler in New York City, for example, than in D.C. Could be perhaps in the 80s in D.C. and maybe the 50s in New York City if, in fact, this light northeast wind develops, and I think it very well could from New York City north and east tomorrow night into Thursday, and that will promote cloudiness as well as the possibility of some drizzle. Meanwhile, strong cold frontal system is now moving into the middle part of the country. That continues to move to the east. Let's jump ahead 24 hours. Here's the forecast map for Thursday evening. That strong cold front now into the Ohio Valley. Could be a few showers and thunderstorms moving into the Mid-Atlantic region late Thursday night, along with that frontal system pressing in on the East Coast. And then perhaps even a little bit of a steady rain, a period of steady rain on Friday as it turns much cooler. Let's jump ahead now to Friday evening. And here's the forecast map for Friday evening. By that time, the cold front is at the East Coast or moving off the East Coast. We're getting back into a drier pattern here in the Mid-Atlantic region. Certainly by Saturday, skies should clear. We should have mostly sunny skies, but cool conditions and breezy conditions here in the Mid-Atlantic region. Temperatures really drop by the time Friday rolls around. Much cooler Friday compared to Wednesday or Thursday. And then that cool weather will continue for much of the weekend here in the Mid-Atlantic region. But it should be dry with some sunshine, at least on some sunshine, maybe even all sunshine on Saturday and Sunday as well, along with those cool and breezy conditions. That's it for now. Stay tuned for any updates later on today. I'm SI meteorologist Paul Dorian.